get started. Welcome, everybody. So today we have our chair yoga class, part of our free Go with GoGo series. Every other Wednesday we have yoga, and then we have functional fitness the other Wednesdays. Before we get moving, just a reminder of what else you can do with GoGo. You can access rides, meals, groceries, medication delivery, and home services, all by calling one number, and that number is 855-464-6872. Also, a reminder that at the bottom of your receipts, you have a GoGo code. And if you share that referral code with a friend, then once they take their first ride or use their first service with GoGo, you both get a $10 credit. We also have a Facebook group, so if you're looking to continue to connect or have more conversations or share how you're using GoGo or just other things you want to share in life, you can find us on Facebook and connect with other members. And with that, we'll get going. So I'm Adra. I teach the yoga and functional fitness class. All you need today is a chair, and that's it, just a chair. I prefer a chair that's not moving around, that's not rolling, but if all you have is a rolly chair, that's fine. Before we get moving, does anybody remember the move of the week? Yes. Say it out loud because I can't see everybody's video. Bertha, yeah, I see your hand.
Oh, wrist circles.
Yay! Wrist circles. Did you do some wrist circles?
Yes.
You did. Oh, good. Awesome. Did anybody else do some wrist circles? And just know I can't necessarily see everybody's video all at once. That's why I might have a delay as I scroll. No, I'm getting a lot of blank stares. So nobody did any wrist circles. Maybe that's lots of new members, or maybe just we didn't think of it. That's okay. We'll get a new move today at the end of class. All right, let's get going. I'm gonna stop sharing. So hopefully you see my video nice and big. If you don't, then you can go to the top right-hand corner of your computer and you'll have two options at the top. It will say gallery view and then speaker view. If you want it to be me nice and big, you'll pick speaker view. If you're want to see everybody moving with you, which is also super fun, you pick gallery view. So that top right-hand corner of your computer. If you're on a phone and it's a touch screen, you might be able to swipe and you'll get different screens when you swipe.
Well, but I lost you. Oh, there you are.
All right. So again, yeah, if you don't see me, I should be spotlighted, but if you don't see me, it's because of your settings. So top right-hand corner of your computer, pick speaker view. All right, finding your seat, let's rock a little side to side. And then grounding down, feeling both sits bones steady on the chair and begin to take some circles with your torso. So we're going to move for about 1 minute and then we'll go into a meditation for about 5 minutes. And then we'll continue to move. Let's circle the other way. So at the start of all of our yoga classes, we do have a short meditation. If you're just here for the meditation, it's totally fine for you to log off after. And then bringing yourself back to center, sitting nice and tall. Let's roll those shoulders forward. And roll those shoulders back. Allow your shoulders to drop and rotate the head. No, looking right to left. And nod the head yes. And bringing your head back to center. And go ahead and close the eyes or soften your gaze to the earth. Taking a few moments to settle in. Let go of the day so far. Let go of the things that need to happen later. Begin to tune into here and now. Feel the movement of your breath. Maybe notice where you feel the breath in your body. Can you feel the air moving in and out of the nose? Can you feel movement in your chest? Or maybe movement in your belly or your back body. There's no right or wrong. We're just noticing, observing where the breath is in the body. For today's meditation, we're going to have a mantra meditation, a meditation where I'll be saying some words and you'll repeat them in your mind. And we'll continue that on for a couple of minutes. And then I'll let you go off on your own. Either you choose one of the phrases or you can continue all of them. Now, as we say these words to ourselves, doing your best to really embrace them, believe them in whatever way you can. We're just sending some love and kindness to ourselves. So just repeating after me in your mind. May I be happy. May I be healthy.
May I be healthy.
May I be peaceful. May I be loved.
May I love.
May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be loved. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be loved. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be loved. Go ahead and continue all of those or some of those on your own. And gently letting those words go. Take a deep inhale, fill your lungs. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. One more time, deep inhale, fill the lungs. And let it out. Blink open the eyes. And we'll inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling, reaching tall. Exhale, flip those palms to face down and lower the arms. Inhale, palms face up, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the sky. Exhale, flip the palms to face down, push the air. Keep going, follow your pace, your breath. So don't worry about my speed or anybody else's, follow your breath. It's inhale up and exhale down. No rush. But next time your arms are out to the side in a T position, either going up or going down, you'll pause. Let your palms flip to face forward. We'll inhale, open up the chest. So lift the chest, back bend, reach those arms back. Tail goes behind you. And then exhale, round your back and give yourself a hug, wrapping your arms around your body. So we inhale, open up the front of the body, arms go out, lift the chest. And exhale, round, drop the chin, tuck the tail. Keep going, follow your breath. I'm just turning sideways so you get a different view. Maybe alternating which arm goes on top when you hug yourself, you more. And bring yourself back to center, releasing the arms alongside your body. And we'll begin to go into some side bending. So leaning to one side, maybe the hand follows the leg of your chair. Go as far as is comfortable. Make sure you can come back up. Ground down into your hip and then lift back up. So we inhale into the side bend. Exhale, using those side body muscles coming up. Keep going at your own pace. So we inhale into the stretch and we exhale as we lift. You're welcome to continue like this, or if you'd like to add some arms, your free arm as you side bend can reach up to the ceiling or even overhead. And then it comes back down as you switch sides. So feel free to add that arm. If it doesn't feel good, don't worry about it. Leave your arms down. Being kind to your body, only moving in ways that feel good and safe. And making your way back to center, shaking out those arms. Let's rotate our spine. So twisting the spine to the right, I'm mirroring you. So twisting to the right, Hands can go outside of your leg. You can grab onto your armrest if you have an armrest, or grab your chair. We'll rotate here. Noticing if your hips here move when you twist, and there's nothing wrong with that. But is it possible for you to ground your sits bones, those bones in your bum? If you can ground them into your chair, try not to move them as you rotate your spine. That way we get more middle back movement, not so much lower back. And let's go the other way. Rotate the spine the other way, maybe noticing what your body naturally does, noticing if those hips move, and see if you can keep those hips from moving as you twist. And then back to center. Let's bring those arms forward in front of us, letting the palms touch. Now when we twist, we're going to let those hips move. So just let anything move as you'd like, except for feet stay planted on the ground. We're going to twist to your right and just notice how far you can go. Just notice and take note. What is your landmark? Where do your fingers point to? Then you twist. We're going to see if we can go further in a few minutes. So noticing, okay, when I twist to my right, where is my landmark? What do I see? You can let those hips move, but feet stay planted. And then center, and then twist the other way. And see how far you can go. What is your landmark? What can you see? Where do your hands point to? And back to center. Let's release those arms. We're going to do a few stretches and a few eye exercises, and then we'll see if we can twist a little further. So we're going to drop the chin just a tiny bit, like a little centimeter drop. Drop the chin slightly towards the chest, and then bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. Don't go far. Do like 70% of your max, or even 50% of your max. Don't go all the way. And then rotate your chin slightly towards that right shoulder. From there, let the jaw soften. Just let the jaw relax. So your mouth can just pop open a little bit. Might feel like a very mild stretch. You might feel like you don't feel anything at all. That's okay. Or maybe it's super intense. Then bring your head back to center. And we'll switch sides. So slight drop of the chin, almost like you're nodding yes or trying to create a double chin. And then left ear towards the left shoulder. Again, don't go all the way, just go part way. No need to overdo it. And then rotate the head, looking slightly down towards the left shoulder or towards the left leg. And then allow your jaw to relax. Let the jaw soften. And then bringing the head back to center. Then we'll bring one arm in front of us, taking our thumb up. Let's bring the thumb between the eyebrows. So that's the height that I want it to be, and then straighten it out in front of you. I want your eyes to focus on your thumb. So let your eyes focus on your thumb. And you're going to follow your thumb as you slowly bend your elbow, bringing your hand close to your face, making sure the thumb stays that same level, that same height. You can bring it as close to your face as you want, but if your thumb turns into 2, that's when you stop. And then straightening and bending that arm. We're going to do that about 5 times. Go at your own pace, following your thumb. If you get blurry or your thumb turns into 2, that's when you don't want to keep going. You stop and re-straighten the arm out in front of you. Keep breathing. Probably have 1 or 2 more to go. And then letting that go, shake it off. All right, we'll see if those exercises changed our twists. They maybe did, maybe they didn't. Everyone's going to be different. We're going to bring those palms together and rotate to the right. And see, did you move any further? I did, but it doesn't always happen. And then center and rotate to the left. See, did you move any further? And again, for this version, you can let those hips move. I also did. And back to center. Interesting, just a thing to play with. Let's release, shake it off. And let's move into our legs a little bit. We're going into some heel raises. So toes stay on the ground. We're gonna alternate lifting heels. So it's amazing. I was just thinking about that exercise. The movement of our eyes and some stretching around our neck can totally change how far we can twist. You can continue with these heel raises or go ahead and move into some marching, alternate lifting the leg. So as the knee comes up, try and keep your torso still. So we are trying to make this a leg movement and not so much a spine or back movement. Go ahead and pause, both feet on the ground. Let's wrap those hands around the right shin or knee so you can lean forward and then go ahead and lift that shin or knee off of the ground. And we'll circle the ankle. And circle the other way. Releasing the foot and lowering the leg, and we just switch sides. Lean forward, wrap your arm around your left knee or shin, lift the leg up. And then circle the ankle. Circle the other way. And release. Let's go ahead and take those legs wide now. So depending on your chair, you might need to scooch further forward or further back. If you have armrests, definitely forward. If you don't, you might find it's more comfortable back. So toes are pointing slightly out, knees are pointing slightly out. We're going to bring those arms behind the head. If that's not comfortable, let your arms go down. That's totally fine. Just a little bit of side core work here. We're going to inhale, side bend to one side. You decide how far you go. So don't overdo it, but challenge yourself just enough. Exhale, coming back to center. We inhale, side bend. Exhale, lifting back. Keep going. Following your breath. No rush, but next time you're leaning to your right, we'll go ahead and stay there. Release the right hand down, bringing the right forearm to your armrest or to your leg. You could also bring your right hand to the leg if that's better. You can release that free arm. The free arm can reach overhead, or if that's uncomfortable, you can always lower your arm alongside the body. So wherever feels good here to hold the side stretch. Feet are planted. Thinking about breathing into the side of the body, breathing into the sides of the ribs here. And lifting yourself up, and we switch sides. So either bringing the left hand to your leg or left forearm to your armrest or leg. That free arm can stay down if that feels best for your shoulder today, or you can reach it up overhead or to the ceiling or out to the side. feet are planted, your sits bones, your hips are planted, your pelvis is planted on that chair. We're breathing into the sides of the ribs here. Sensing that as you inhale, you might find that the stretch intensifies. And lifting yourself back up. Let's heel toe those feet back together. And let's bring those arms out to the side into a kind of W shape. So elbows are bent close to the sides of the body, fingertips face up towards the ceiling, palms are forward. We'll inhale, stretch those arms into a V position. So we're not straight up to the ceiling, but we're not out to the side into a T. So we're kind of in a V. And exhale, bend the elbows. Elbows come close to the rib cage. We inhale, straighten the arms into that V position. So fingers reaching towards the ceiling, palms stay facing forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Let's add some hand movement if you'd like. We inhale, spread the fingers in that V position. Exhale, create fists as you bend your elbows. So only adding on if you'd like. Inhale, open up those fingers as you reach those arms into the V. Exhale, bend the elbows and create fists. Keep going at your own pace. No rush, but next time your arms are bent and you're in that W shape, we'll pause. Release the fists, bring the hands in front of you. So the elbows are bent about 90 degrees. Hands come in front of you like you're holding a platter in your hands. So arms or forearms and palms are parallel to the earth. Elbows stay close to your side. We'll inhale, open up the arms. So the elbows stay bent. We're just rotating here. So it's that upper arm bone in the shoulder socket moving so that the palms are now out to the side. So it's like you're now holding two platters straight out to the side. Those elbows stay close to your rib cage. We exhale, bring those pinkies to touch in front of us. Inhale, open up the arms so the hands move away from each other, but the elbows stay close to your side. It's a rotation here of the arm in the shoulder socket. And then exhale, hands touch. Keep going at your own pace. So even though we see that it's the forearms moving away from each other, the hands moving away from each other, we're sensing that the movement is happening more at the upper arms and at the shoulders. Next time your hands are out to the side, we'll pause. Hold for an extra breath. And then straighten the arms out to the side into a T position. We're going to wring out our arms. So we'll let the right palm turn to face forward and then to face down and then to face back. So that's an internal rotation. Whereas that left arm is going to just turn to face up towards the ceiling. So we're wringing out those arms. And then we switch. So we turn one arm out, one arm in. And that movement, we're going to let it happen through the entire arm. So it's happening in the shoulder, it's happening in the forearm as well. So it's possible for us to move just at the shoulder or just at the forearm, but I want you to allow the whole arm, shoulder and forearm to move here as you twist. So you're wringing out those arms. And then letting that go, release those arms, shake it off. And we're moving into our standing portion of class. So this class is pretty much all sitting except for 5 minutes of standing. If you don't want to stand, you can stay seated. That's totally fine. If you are okay standing, go ahead and make your way up. Helpful to be behind a chair or a table or a wall. So you don't need to keep facing me, but I do want you to have something to hold on to if things get wobbly. So feet are going to plant down into the ground. All 10 toes face forward. See if your feet can be parallel. Arms can stay on your chair or on your support, or let the arms rest by your side. I'm going to move my chair so you can see, but please keep something in front of you. You're going to let yourself rock a little side to side. So you're letting yourself rock side to side. So weight shifts a little more to the right and a little more to the left. And just notice how your body can weight shift here without necessarily lifting the feet off the ground. Now we're going to do the same thing for forward and back. So letting yourself shift a little forward into the toes. You might even feel those toes scrunch, and shifting back into the heels, and you might feel those toes lift. So just forward and back, feeling that weight shift. And then pausing, finding even weight, front to back, right to left. So sensing that front to back, right to left. Let your palms flip to face forward. You can keep your eyes open, or if you're comfortable, close the eyes. If you start to lose your balance, just open up the eyes. And imagine that there is a string attached to your head and reaching up towards the top of the ceiling. So really more that you are suspended from the ceiling. That string is attached to the ceiling and dropping you downward towards the earth, almost like you're trying to reach to touch the ground. How does that change your posture? That feeling of having to reach downward because you're already suspended from the ceiling. Continuing that even weight in those feet. 2 more breaths here. And then opening up the eyes if your eyes are closed, placing those hands back to your chair or your table. I'm turning sideways so you can see, you don't need to move. Hands stay on your support. We'll step the right foot back behind us, about 2 feet, but it's really up to you. It's 1 to 3 feet, kind of depends on your size. We'll bend the front knee. Back heel pushes into the ground. So the foot, both feet are completely down on the ground. They're completely flat on the earth. But we're bending the front knee, the back leg is straight. Hands can stay on the chair, or maybe they hover above the chair. Or maybe you find cactus arms, so bent elbows 90 degrees out to the side. Or maybe the arms reach up to the ceiling. So lots of options. You choose what feels good for you today. Several deep breaths. Lower the hands down to the chair. We'll straighten that front leg. You can stay right here. So we have 2 straight legs. The feet have not moved. Or you can begin to bend your elbows, hinging forward, getting closer to your support or to your leg. Maybe the forearms find the chair. Maybe if you want to go further, your hands find your thigh or your shin, but just make sure wherever you go, you need to be able to come up from there. So find what works for you, find what's safe for you. Pay attention to what you're feeling. Where do you feel this in your body? You're folded forward. You'll start to lift yourself back up. Hands find the chair. Straighten the arms. Lift the torso. Soften that front knee and step forward. Back foot meets the front. Switching sides, right foot stays in front, left leg steps back. We're going into that warrior one leg position. So that back foot, that back heel finds the ground. If it can't find the ground, shorten your stance. Try and find that support. Press the heel into the earth. Your feet are about 2 feet apart. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight. Torso is lifted. Hands can stay on the chair, or hands can hover above the chair. Or you can find cactus arms or straighten the arms towards the ceiling. Find whatever works for you and hold for several breaths. Steadying your gaze and smoothing out your breath. Hands come back to the chair if they're lifted. We straighten out the front leg. So now we have 2 straight legs. You can stay here or begin to bend the elbows. And as you bend the elbows, you're hinging at the hips. So the spine really isn't changing shape. You're hinging at the hips to get closer to that front leg. You can stay with your hands on the chair or maybe your forearms find the chair. You're also welcome to bring your hands down to your leg. Just make sure that that feels balanced and safe for your body today. Maybe noticing how this side feels compared to the first side. Two more breaths. Then bringing your hands back to your chair if they've gone somewhere else. Lift the torso up, bend your front knee and step forward. Back foot meets the front. One last thing in standing before we come back to sit. Hands stay on your chair. We're going into an upside down L position or a chair dog. We're going to walk those feet back and let the torso lower until it's parallel-ish to the ground, right? It can be lifted higher. You go to where it feels good on the shoulders, safe on the body. Hips can be over the heels, but they can also be ahead of the heels or behind them. Find what feels good and interesting to your body. Find a nice stretch. And then lifting the torso up and walking yourself forward. And then taking your time to come back down to sit. Once you're seated, let's just take some circles with the torso. So take your time if you're still getting settled, kind of resetting here. And circle the other way. Come back to center. We're moving to a figure 4. We have lots of options here. So one option is to cross your right ankle over your left ankle and let those knees open wide. So if you know that crossing your legs further is not going to work, just cross the ankles and allow those knees to open wide. Second option would be to cross your right leg over your left. Third option is to go into that figure 4, crossing that right ankle over the left thigh. If you want to go into the figure 4, but it's a little bit challenging, you might choose to sit up a little bit higher. So you could put some blankets, some firm blankets underneath your hips to lift your hips higher. And that will make it a little bit easier. You could also take some pillows underneath you. So the higher you are, the less intense that will be. If you're in the figure 4 and you want it to be more intense, notice your bottom shin, that left leg. If it's in this angle, you're going to get less stretch. If you get that left ankle directly below the left knee, you'll get more stretch. So just noting that for yourself. And then we'll go ahead and circle the torso here. So noticing how the stretch changes as you circle. Circle the other way. We're not circling for very long. And just notice where you feel a really good stretch as you move your body here. And then I'd like you to pause in whatever position gives you an interesting or good stretch, and we'll hold that for about a minute. So I'm leaning to one side because that gives me a good stretch. Some people it will be a better stretch leaning forward or leaning back. Find an interesting stretch and hold it. If it becomes too intense, back off. If you lose the stretch, move into a different position. And find that nice, smooth breath. And lifting yourself up back to center, undo the legs, shake them off. And we'll go to our second side. So crossing that left ankle over the right and allow those knees to open. That's option 1. Option 2, left leg crosses on top. Right, all the torso movements are going to be the same, just legs are different. Option 3, you cross the ankle over the thigh. Again, you can lift your hips higher, and you can also notice what your bottom shin or leg is doing. Having the ankle directly underneath the knee of that right leg will make this a little bit more intense. If your leg is at an angle, it will be less intense. And we'll circle the torso. And again, we're just circling to explore, to sense, how does it feel in these different positions today? Knowing that every day is different. Go ahead and circle the other direction. And then finding a position that feels interesting or good to your body to hold for about a minute. And again, if you stop feeling the stretch, you can move, or if it becomes too intense, change it. And you don't need to copy me, right? I'm leaning to the side because that feels good or interesting to me. But if that's not working for you, lean forward or stay upright or lean back. And then lifting yourself back up, undo those legs, shake them off. And then we'll find our comfortable seat for 2 minutes of meditation. So you can stay sitting forward, or if you'd like, maybe now's a nice time to sit back into your chair. Go ahead and close those eyes or soften your gaze to the earth. We're going to go right back into that mantra. You can repeat after me and then go on your own, repeating in your mind. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be loved. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be loved. Feel free to continue those words in your mind or just picking one for the next minute. Gently letting that go. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, let it. Palms touch in front of the heart. Take a moment to thank yourself for taking time to take care of your mind and your body. And taking time to be here with all of the GoGo members. This class is not possible without you. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. So great to have you here. So our move of the week is figure 4. So that hip stretch we were doing right at the end, crossing the ankle over the thigh. So seeing if you can play around with incorporating that, right? You don't need to do that right now, but you play around with seeing if you can incorporate that in your daily life, but making sure you're swapping. So sometimes people comfortably sit that way, but they only do that on one side. So see if you can try and play with incorporating that. And if it doesn't feel possible, then don't worry about it. And you want to remember that move for not next week, right? Next week is functional fitness. So you want to keep it in your head for a couple weeks. I'm going to write it down for myself. So highly recommend, sorry, you get to see my messy space. But you write it down too. That way, maybe you have a reminder to try and stretch or try and do the figure 4. All right, so we have just a few minutes left of class. So if anybody has questions related to the yoga or what we did today, now is a good time to ask. If you have more general GoGo questions, it's best that you email GoGo so you can just send them a message. You can reply to the invitation. So if you have more general questions, that's the way to do that. But if you have yoga questions, then now's a nice time to ask.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It pertains to yawning. Where does that come in the yoga process? It seems like either certain movements generate a yawn, or then when you finally reach that center you're talking about, the yawns quit, or how is that a barometer in your experience?
Yeah, so yawning is a parasympathetic response. So that means sort of a restful response. So yawning is great. Yawning is sort of a way of letting your body be in more of this sort of relaxed state, or it's helping the body be in this relaxed state. That's one interpretation, right? We're not entirely certain because there are lots of other reasons why people yawn that we don't know about. But generally, in my experience, yawning is a way of helping relax the body or showing that the body is in more of a relaxed state. And then when the yawning quits, it may be that you're more in a focused and settled state and less of this relaxed state.
Well, it seemed the yawning was in movement, whenever you're having us do the movements, etc., then the yawning's happening, and whenever it stops, it's whenever we're either centered, or I'm not sure how to go beyond that. It's not like you just woke up and you're yawning. It's kind of like your exercise movements are generating my yawns, and I'm going like, wow. I never yawn in my life, on my normal life. So just kind of crazy.
Yeah, but movement can create that. I think what would be interesting for you is to see if that happens only in yoga, or if you come to the functional fitness class, if the yawning happens in the movement. If I were to guess, it's only happening in the yoga, in the more stretchy, relaxed movements with the breath, and not with the fitness exercise things with the weights. But something to notice. It's just very interesting.
Right. I've come on the Friday, so I'm trying to do both of them. Again, I have my Zoom class before this, and I have a Zoom after this. I'll probably be much more relaxed, and I won't be yawning during my space explanation.
Great.
Zoom class.
Thanks, Ross.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to answer a few other questions here in the chat. Someone's asking if it's recorded. This class is recorded. It's going to show up about a week later. So you can go to the YouTube channel, but there are tons of other previous classes that will show up there as well. But you do need to wait about a week to get this recording of this specific class. And then Maureen is asking, is it better to do the same exercise routine each day, or leave a day free before the next set, or mix it up, mix up the type of exercise every day? There is no perfect formula. And so I can't really answer this question, but what I can say is variety is really good for our body. So changing things up. But what's beautiful about doing the same routine is that we see progress and change. And so finding some degree of balance between the two. So what I generally recommend is that maybe 3 days a week you stick to something somewhat similar, but then once a week you do something different. Or maybe it's twice a week, you do something that's sort of the same, and once a week you try something else. So that you can both see the progress, but you have variety. And then once you feel like you've mastered something, then you move on to something else. Right, all of my classes, every class we do is slightly different, but we repeat a lot of moves, right? We've done figure 4 every single class. And so you might see progress there. So that's sort of the best way I can answer that. Alrighty, everybody. Well, it's so wonderful to have you. I'm scrolling through. I love seeing all of your names and faces, videos and pictures. It's great to have you here. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. So next week is functional fitness. So that class is mostly standing, right? This class was mostly seated. That class is mostly standing. You can modify some of it to be in seated, but just know that I won't be giving a lot of seated cues there. Great to have you. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.